Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, hey, folks, I'm Platter videos. Here's videos I've been doing for the while. I'll go over there to try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that at the time I'm doing this, folks. New hat, new hat, new hat, new hat. But we'll get to that in a moment. Yes, indeed. I'm going to go over there. It's a super simple format. I'm just going to try out some stuff, either food or drink related, and then I'm going to go over there and I'm going to yammer on about it for a while. Typically like 11 to 13 minute range. I try to keep it 11. Sometimes it goes 13. Sometimes it goes longer. If you can deal with that, great. If you can't, there are other channels out there that are available who do it much faster than I do. So, it is also, you will likely see myself patting down my eyes periodically. It's hot out today, and I am inside the truck. I cannot turn on the air conditioner while I'm doing the review because my phone picks up the noise. So anyway, what am I trying for y'all? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm also wearing a cool shirt. Folks, when I wear cool shirts, I like to highlight the cool shirt. What cool shirt am I wearing today, folks? Well, I'm doing my brand spanking new Twisted shirt. This isn't the debut, I guess, technically, because the review I just got through doing would be the debut. But this is the debut run of things. I actually just got this one about a week ago. Twisted, if you're not familiar, they're a rap duo. Sort of horrorcore, rap metal stuff. Often associated with the band ICP or Insane Clown Posse. Though I guess, as far as I understand, they've sort of divided. They're no longer associated. But they were on the Rise of the Machine tour with Static X, Fear Factory, Dope, and Cultist Black. Also, they had Society 1 and Mushroom Head on some of the other ones. So, really great tour. I actually have a bunch of videos from all those bands on this channel, just in case you're interested. But anyway, what am I trying for y'all today, folks? Well, I just got through doing a review from Zanzi's Italian Deli. I just went over there. I tried out their Italian sub sandwich because I've been doing a run of sub sandwiches. I in fact have an entire playlist called Subs for Subs. And I decided to go over there and give Zanzi's a spot. I tried out their Italian one. Go watch that review if you're interested. But I usually like to get at least one more sandwich to go over there and, get an idea. So, what am I reviewing for you folks? It's sandwich. It's got an RB on it, and that's because it's a roast beef sandwich. If you watch my stuff, you might know that I love a roast beef sandwich. I love roast beef. It is probably my favorite deli meat. I'm a big, big fan. So when I saw that they had one, and it happened to be on special today anyway, so I was like, boom, let's make that happen. That's what this needs to be about. We have, that's a lot of meat. So I mean, look at that. That's some thick stuff right there. So yeah, when I saw that they had a roast beef sub, I was like, I gotta get a roast beef sub. Now that said, as I mentioned in my previous video, I was a little bit hesitant to try this place because the review rating on it was a little bit so-so. But then I kind of looked over the reviews. I saw, I was like, screw it, I'm going to give it a shot. So, just take that into account. The location and everything was a little bit, to put it politely, let's say quaint. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I found in my course of my food doings that sometimes places that are a little bit more lived in offer the best food. So hopefully this will be an exceptional roast beef sandwich. I got it with provolone cheese, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. So let's give it a go. Let's see how it is. Try not to get shit on the shirt too much. All right, well, I'm not exactly thrilled. In fact, the word I would use would be underwhelmed. It is, and I hate to put it this way because I always like to be positive with my reviews, especially when you have like, privately owned locations, not like big chains and stuff. I always really like to help promote them if possible, but I have to be accurate to my personal experience. That is quite possibly the weakest roast beef sub I've had in my journey is doing this. The roast beef itself is just very bland. It is, I mean, it's, roast beef is, it's not the punchiest of meats. It's just not. But it's got flavor, for sure. And when it's, good quality, when it's used properly, it really can shine. It does not shine in this. It is, even when I went over there and took, like, direct bites of the beef, the hang-off, I wasn't really getting much. I got the mayo, I got the tomato, the bread, and I mentioned this in the Italian sub, the bread is kind of a weak point. It's not the best sub sandwich bread I've had. Yeah, this one, yeah. With the Italian sub, it didn't exactly reach the greatest of expectations, but it was a good effort. I enjoyed it. I overall thought it was a good sandwich, even if it was a little bit lacking. This one, I don't really know that I can say that exactly. This one, I don't know if I can say, as a roast beef sandwich, roast beef sub, it is not a good roast beef sub. It's just, it's constructed nicely enough and everything, but like I said, man, it's just, the roast beef just isn't doing anything. It's very, very, it just lacks flavor. And, I'm gonna, bread, tomato, mayo, oil. That's what I'm getting. I'm really, like, the roast beef is just doing nothing. And that's a damn shame. Because a roast beef sub, when it's done properly, is one of my favorite subs. And unfortunately, that one, it's just not. I don't know if it's just the quality of it. I'm just a guy who talks about the stuff. I don't know the ins and outs. But, I just feel, yeah. So, two questions I have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No and no. It kills me, folks, because I like to be positive. I like to go into these things. I love to promote stuff. That's part of the reason why I like to do this stuff, especially when it's local spots. But there's no way I would get this again because again, it's like I said, it's probably the weakest roast beef sub I've had, and I definitely couldn't recommend it. And sadly, out of the two subs that I've had, now to be fair, they have a decent sized menu for different things. They do paninis and some other stuff. Part of the reason why I do the two sub thing when I go to new places is to get a good sampling, and the Italian is like my standard, and then I usually get one other thing to go along with it. And sometimes it's a unique thing, sometimes it's like a standard like this one. Roast beef and the Italian are two standards of mine. The Italian was, decent but underwhelming. The roast beef it's not even underwhelming. It's a non-factor. And yeah, so unfortunately I'd love to go over there. Especially, they had an adorable puppers who was hanging out over there. I personally enjoyed the company of the puppers. But yeah, this one, especially considering the fact that you have other Italian deli locations not that far from that one. Some I've even reviewed here on the channel. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I want to be positive. Apologize to anybody who's a fan of Zanzi's, or the owner or whoever might end up seeing this. I have to be honest with my experience, and in this case, it wasn't great. So sorry. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, Monday, Mondays, months, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, you can go over there and have yourselves a truly roast beef sandwich rest of your life, but like proper, okay? Like a really good, well-constructed roast beef. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in your world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, that's not always the easiest thing to do in the world. Life can be frustrating. It can be, stressful. It can even be disappointing, as we've seen here today. And when we find ourselves in those situations, I mean, first of all, if we have a fancy new hat, that helps things. But we don't always have a fancy new hat. I do, but, Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in your lives, hopefully do better for yourselves and for those around you. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. I mean, folks, usually I try to come up with like a wacky scenario for a thing that you can do. You know what? I mean, if anything, if you go over there, if you happen to be local to, where I am, my general region of things, probably not, but maybe you are. If you happen to go over there, travel to Zanzi's, or any of the other locations that I've been to, try to keep a positive attitude. It could just be an off day. If nothing else, constructive criticism is way more helpful than anything else. Yeah, so bit of a downer on this one. That sucks, man. I've been got all cleaned up. I got my new shirt on, my new hat. I was all like, yeah, a new sandwich spot. So, sorry, Zanzi's. Bye.